Hi children, in the previous class, biology class, we have discussed about the microorganism a little bit, what are the things and all. So today we are going to discuss about food preservation and the diseases caused by them, how we are going to do that. Okay, so let us start without wasting the time, the food preservation. So now we are going to discuss about food preservation. Of course, you might have seen your mother telling, hey, we will keep that food for tomorrow if it is left. But next day, some days when your mom forgets to keep in the fridge, what happens? Smelly. So what has happened to that food? Spoiled. And my dear children, spoiling food and wasting food, not allowed. Actually, it's very bad. Because there are people who are still starving for food. They want food and we are lucky that we have enough. So thank to Almighty for that. So let us discuss, that is how and why the food preservation is needed and it's done. So the process of preventing food from spoilage, we call it as preservation, right? That is the process of preventing the spoilage of food item by the action of microorganisms, microbes. We can call it as food preservation. Microorganism acts on food item and actually they are spoiling it. Yeah, in the food preservation, let us discuss the first one. It is chemical method. Yeah, you're right. You might have seen the jams, sauce, all these bottles which you buy from the market. You have seen that. In that, it be written that the chemical preservatives are sodium benzoate, sodium metabisulfate, salt, edible oil. All these you can see in the jam bottle or sauce bottle or whatever the packet or food you buy from the market. So that kind of preservation is called chemical method. Okay, then common salt is used as a preservative in, wow, what a taste it is. What is it? Pickle. Yes. In Hindi we say khatta. That thing, that's sour in taste. It's all for pickles, right? Of course, sweet pickle is also there. I know that, right? So, then for preserving meat, the best example, dry fish. What do you get from the market, right? It's all salting is done. So, it can be used. Then, sugar. Similarly, just now I told jams, jellies, then squash bottle. All that are having what? Sugar as a preservative. Of course, along with the sodium, that examples I've told in the previous time, same things are used over here. The next preservative we can use as oil and vinegar. Vinegar is, as I told, it is the acetic acid, citric acid, right? What you get. We use that in the pickles to preserve it. Oil is also good method or a way of preserving food, achar, pickle, right? Now, the second one is heat and cold treatment. Here comes one simple statement or story about, which is in your textbook. You know, Paheli and Biju, the textbook, two people are there. They are following you since so many years, right? So 8th standard also they are there. So it's a conversation between them. They are telling why when we buy milk from the countryside, from a normal, other than the packet I'm talking about, it gets spoiled easily. Why the packet milk that we get from the shops, malls, not getting spoiled easily? Why? Yeah, you might have read on that. Pasteurized milk. The milk is pasteurized. So here what is happening is that the milk is being boiled. When it is boiled, the microorganism is killed, which are present inside it. Yeah. So this technique is known by a name, and it's called pasteurization. What is it? Pasteurization. Pasteurization is a technique of preserving milk in which the milk is boiled about 70 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds, 15 to 30 seconds, and then suddenly it is chilled and stored. So what is the process? Heated for 15 to 30 seconds up to 70 degrees Celsius, then it's chilled and stored. So that is the reason our textbook people, Paheli and Biju, they were telling about this. So that is the reason why it is not getting spoiled, because it is pasteurized. Now, the next way of preserving food is storage and packing. How do you store dry fruits? Cashew nut and all, badam and all, how do you store? Yes, you're right. It comes under dry fruits category. So we also store dry fruits and vegetables, okay, in airtight packets, a little zip locked. There will be a zip like locked. It's kind of packet, right? So we can store, or if you have a bottles, you can put in that and store in the shelves. So that can be also done, so that the air contact will not be there with the food item which is inside the packet or the bottle. Now let us discuss about harmful microorganisms. Of course, from the name itself, harmful means they are going to cause harm. And these are called pathogens. So what are pathogens? Pathogens are disease causing microorganisms. Okay. And diseases in human beings are caused by many microorganisms. And how it is spreading? It is spreading from one person to another. That also one person means infected person. From an infected person to an healthy person. How? Air, right? Water, food. So what do you call this kind of diseases which are spread by air, water, food? In lower grades you have learned. Yes, it is communicable diseases. So don't forget that word, communicable diseases. And the examples of communicable diseases are cholera, chickenpox, tuberculosis. You might have heard people coughing like this. Continuous coughing, like, right? So it is all because it can be. So consult a doctor and find out. Tuberculosis, chickenpox, you are very much well aware of that. Cholera, what is it? Continuous loose motions and water will be drained off from your body. Okay. Then some organisms which transmit diseases, okay, from one person to another person, that is actually there is transmitting disease from one place to another place. We call them carriers. What we call them? Carriers. House fly. It spreads diseases like in grade 5 and all or 4 you have learnt. What are they? Cholera, dysentery and typhoid. Right? Then female Anopheles mosquito spreads malaria. Female Aedes mosquito spreads dengue virus. Right? So these are the things that is given in the textbook. Children, don't forget to read the textbook. And examples of some human diseases caused by bacteria are tuberculosis, cholera, typhoid. Let me repeat it again. That's what I'm doing it. Now, look at this slide. It is typhoid, right? The slide is showing about typhoid. See how the signs and symptoms, you can easily look on the slide and understand. Yeah, I hope you have seen it. Then, now look to the slide over here. Tuberculosis. What is it? It is showing how the symptoms, fever, the night sweating, persistent cough, right? Bloody phlegm, that is when you cough, the blood comes, right? Chest pain, shortness of breath, I hope you have seen this slide. Now, look at this slide. It is about cholera. See, diarrhea is happening, rapid weight loss, increased thirst, vomiting, low blood pressure, loss of skin elasticity because the water is not there. So, all this, right? Look at this slide. Yeah. Now, let us see some examples of human diseases caused by virus. Measles, chickenpox, polio, hepatitis B. We are going to look the slides one by one. Look at this slide, children. Measles. See what are the symptoms written on the slide? High fever, cough, runny nose, red watery eyes, rashes, white dots inside the mouth in some cases. So from this slide, you might have seen or understood the symptom of measles. Next, we are going to see the chickenpox symptoms. Look at this slide. See, the symptoms is shown in 4 pictures. Rash, fever, headache, cough. Yeah, children. Now look at this slide. It is about polio. See, the polio, also called poliomyelitis. See what is written in the slide, right? Or infantile paralysis is a potentially deadly and crippling infectious disease, right, caused by poliovirus. See the symptom: headache, fever, vomiting, sore throat, fatigue, right? Yeah. Now, here is a slide which is telling about, look at to this, hepatitis B. See, it is clearly stated in 1, 2, 3 steps, right? Please look very carefully. The first one is telling it is a life-threatening liver disease which spread through exposure of infected body fluids. Second, can be life-threatening. And how we can prevent it? Look, hepatitis B vaccines are given as soon as possible after birth. So, this is there. Now, the next thing which we have to discuss is some other examples of human disease caused by protozoa. Again, let me remind you, in grade 12, you have to observe it through a slide, an infected blood, the person who is suffering from malaria, and you have to find where is that protozoa, you have to find in that. Plasmodium. Okay, so look at this slide, you can see very clearly the malarial and the common symptoms of malaria is there. Then the another disease called sleeping sickness is there. CC fly. It is caused, sleeping sickness is caused by CC fly. See this? You can see in the slide. Now, the next one, disease in animals caused by microorganism. Anthrax. It is caused by bacteria. Again, please do look to this slide. See, It is very clearly mentioned in that. You can see this. Domestic and wild animals such as cattle, sheep, goats, antelope and deer is easily becoming infected, right? They inhale or ingest this spores is contaminated by soil, plant, or water. See the foot and mouth disease of cattle. It is caused by virus. See this? Yeah. Now diseases in plants caused by microorganisms. That is the next heading we have to discuss. Citrus canker disease. It is caused by bacteria. My dear children, there is a table in your textbook. Go through it. Okay. So, citrus canker disease is caused by bacteria. Rust of wheat is caused by fungi. Yellow vein mosaic or bhindi, okra, is caused by virus. Bhindi is nothing, ladies, finger. Now come on, let us look to this slide. Look at it. It is about nitrogen cycle. The same picture that is given in your textbook is the same. What is it? See, atmospheric nitrogen and it's circulating. See, lightning, when it comes to the soil, it's fixed, right? Then through the bacteria, you can see, go through this very carefully. This diagram is in your textbook. How the nitrogen is being circulated. See that? The bacteria which is turning from the gaseous thing and it's again coming to the soil and it is eaten by the plants or eaten by plants, animals and all. So it's circulating. Right? Yeah. Now, I'll explain to you. Actually, in the nitrogen cycle, it involves circulation of nitrogen through living and non-living components of nature. That is, biotic and abiotic components of nature. Actually, nitrogen gas comprises 78% of atmosphere. 78% of the atmosphere comprises nitrogen. The first process of nitrogen cycle is fixing of nitrogen gas into nitrogenous compound caused by the bacteria. What was the bacteria I told you before? Rhizobium, and by means of lightning too. Okay. Then nitrogen compounds in soil are taken up by the plants through roots and used up in synthesis of protein. One thing I have learnt here, nitrogen compounds contribute for the synthesis of protein, right? And this animals obtain when they feed the plants. Then another way, we are talking about the nitrogen cycle. Another way, waste of plants and animals converted into nitrogenous compound by the action of bacteria and fungi. That's what you saw in that nitrogen cycle. Open your textbook, it's very clearly seen there. Got it? Then some bacteria convert nitrogenous compound back into nitrogen and maintain the atmospheric levels of nitrogen. So my dear children, this is the way how the nitrogen level is maintained, right? So I expect you to read the lesson after watching the video, and if you have any doubt, you can contact. Thank you so much, my dear children. Here is the end of this chapter, and thank you one and all. Thank you once again.